This is Jean Daguilar again with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. Today I'm with Trent and Dana Barnes with Icon Inspection Services, where they also have a drone
Yes,
service.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, because there's so many things we can talk about with inspections,
Right.
True.
today we're going to focus on solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of questions on solar panels.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
I know, right? So let's have you guys first introduce yourselves
Okay.
and just tell everybody about your company.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
Pass it out to
Ladies
Dana.
first.
Yes,
So,
ladies first.
so we are Icon Inspection and Drone Services. We're family owned and operated. Trent and I opened the company just over about 3 years ago, but we're not new to inspections. Trent has been inspecting for almost 20 years, and so for of course that was his job. I didn't really know what he did. It was like, great, you have a job, that's good. You look at houses. I'm not sure what that's about, and I have my own career that I was doing, but then about 3 years ago, we decided, you know what, we want to be entrepreneurial and do our own business and influence our industry as owners. And so that's how it was birthed and born.
Right.
I love that.
And we've just been adding lots of different services so that we can have all different types of inspections available to our clients who call. One of those that we added recently was the solar system inspections as well. And so when we had an opportunity to learn more about that and provide that service, we thought that was a great opportunity because we had a lot of people that we had found in our life personally that did not understand how solar works because it's new for our area. So now we have much more property in the Houston area with solar attached to it now.
So that makes sense for you to add it to your.
Almost 5% of the houses in Texas have solar systems on them now. Yes.
Wow. Well, before we forget who the main man is.
Yeah, but the main.
How long have you been doing inspections? I actually am curious also why you got into being an inspector.
So that's a great question. I was a late bloomer with all my career and all of that. For a long time, I really didn't know what I really wanted to do. I started off, like a lot of people, just whatever came up. And then I started off my whole career as a young person in sales and that sort of thing. And long story short is that I always liked construction. I never had the opportunity to work in it, though. That's just where my lot was. But I was always drawn to it. Construction, new houses, and anything that went along with that, woodworking and that sort of thing, and did a little bit of that. But finally found myself introduced to home inspections and looked more into it. And so I started down that road. I went to the school here in Houston that just about every realtor has gone to, and got my licensing. And at that time, while I was doing that, I was also got a job working for an engineering company doing their field inspection because I could read plans. And so because I could read the plans, they would send me on the field and I would do foundation and framing inspections. Did hundreds and hundreds of those for this company, especially back there in the heyday of 2007, 8, and then ended up in 9. And what happened in 2008, that's when I got my home inspector license, was just in the late part of 2008.
Fun times.
And perfect timing, right at the bottom. So it took me a few years. Nowhere to go but up from there, right? For sure.
This is true. This is true.
And so, long story short, we eventually started working for another company here in Houston, a multi-inspector firm. Worked there for 12 years, and then decided to go into my own. So that's where we've been doing it. And so that over time is going towards almost 20 years here, just over 19 years.
So I'm gonna start with you, Pro. When you're looking at solar panels. What are some of the common issues you see when you're
That's a great question.
doing a home inspection of a solar home? And they have panels. What are some of the common issues?
Some of the most common stuff we see are dangling wires underneath, the wires that are supposed to be tucked up and zip tied to the underside of the panels. They're dangling, they're touching the roof decking. Maybe they're down because animals have gotten underneath there. They've made a little home, whether it be squirrels or rats or birds or whatever. And so those wires be down on the bottom, and they end up when the wind blows, rubbing against the shingles just a little bit, and over time they can wear out. They could become twisted. The animals do all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
with them. And it's weird how they chew on that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
they're not up underneath it, and that's one thing. Broken brackets on the panel racking. Thank you very much. Those can actually happen. They maybe get tightened down too hard, and then over time they just end up splitting because of winds and all of the weather conditions that happen. Of course, broken panels from time to time. You can
Yeah.
see that. You get broke. Maybe you got hail that came down and hit it just right or big enough,
Yeah.
and breaks that.
They're pretty
And
hardy.
then
Right?
yeah, they're pretty hardy actually. And then of course just malfunctioning equipment, especially when it comes to inverters and that sort of thing.
So you actually will look at not just the panel,
Right.
but the inverter and all the parts.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
and
it's
do some
Yeah,
type of-
it's a
the
complete
panel.
system.
Yeah, the panel
Ah.
is actually one of the tougher parts that we don't see generally too much problem with.
Okay.
It's the other components that we see problems with
Okay.
most of the time.
Because
and-
when we're here, because you hit the nail on the head
Mhm.
about West Coast people moving here to Texas,
Hmm.
they have an expectation.
Yes.
We know what we're doing when it comes to solar panels,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And we probably do. People,
Mhm.
there's probably standards and expertise everywhere, but I know we don't think about all the components.
Yeah,
So
Right.
you're saying the panels may not really be an issue.
right.
We
But
just
other
tend
parts.
to forget about the other
Well,
pieces.
yeah, the biggest thing on panels, other than them possibly being broken or not held down properly, is where they're placed. That's
Mhm.
another big thing.
Okay.
Did the solar company who installed it place them on the good side of the roof? Um, was it even optimum to begin with? There
Mhm.
are there are houses where it just doesn't make sense to put them on, and so they put them on where they can. And so then it's been 5 years, and that tree that wasn't above the line now is
It's
5 years
shading.
taller, is
Right.
now shading just when they need it the most.
Right.
So that's
So
always a problem.
sometimes the most beneficial place to put the panels is in a place the HOA doesn't want to see it. So there's you
Like the
have
front
to
of the house.
yeah. So you have to really work with and of course if you have an HOA you should always engage your HOA
Yeah.
Yeah.
before you do
For
anything.
sure.
And so sometimes homeowners have had to kind of really go toe to toe with the HOA saying, look, this isn't about aesthetics. This is about adding and getting that approval from the HOA. But if somebody didn't know to do that, or maybe felt like they couldn't do that, they might have had the panels put in a place that's not as optimal, but could work, but maybe not as
Because the
optimal even.
HOA wouldn't let them.
But each installer, if they're ethical, right, the whole system was designed by an engineer to go where it went on the roof because they want to make sure that the racking is installed securely
Yep.
into good pieces of wood underneath
Into
the
the
roof
raft-
and not into the air underneath the
Right,
roof.
not just the
Right.
decking, but into the rafters
Right.
themselves.
And so it's engineered, designed from the installation perspective. Now the installer, that's the question. How well did they follow
Did they
those
follow
plans?
those directions?
Right.
Gotcha.
So we look for those types
And
of things
yeah,
too.
I was gonna say, if you're inspecting, again, this isn't to promote or not promote
Right.
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 solar panels. It's
Yeah.
just kind of to share what you do
Mhm.
as an inspector and looking at the
Right.
whole house.
Right.
And
Just
solar
doing what we
panels
normally
is a
do.
part of
Just
it.
Yeah.
observe and report.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have solar panels on my house right now. I think they're a great idea, but I also don't have a septic system because I have city septic.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now here comes challenges.
Okay.
Right. I have a solar. I don't know if you say solar home. Or
Yeah. Solar
whatever.
powered home. Yeah.
Solar
Yeah, so-
powered home. I've got them on there. Had them on for a little bit. What are some of the challenges you see if I'm a homeowner
Mhm.
and I'm getting ready to sell my house or I'm considering it?
Mm,
Yes.
that's a great question.
What's the first thing I might need to think about?
Where's my paperwork?
Right.
That's the first thing I
But
would
I
think
don't
about.
even know what a paperwork is for the TV, the
Right. Right.
car,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
lot
they
of
come in
stuff.
everything. I don't even know about the toaster, right? It's all there. Where's the remote
Yeah.
control? Right. We don't think about that necessarily. We read it once and we think, oh, that's good. But you want to make sure that those papers, anything you add to your home, you want to have those together. Like maybe the title company gave you a great packet of information or the builder or whatever. Keep all those important papers in there because you're going to need them. There are several parts to the system that don't have anything to do with the equipment. For example, how is the system owned?
Right.
Did you pay the full amount for it and it's paid off? Then that would be solar owned. Okay. Or did you get a loan? And is there still a loan there? And what will happen with the loan?
And then that could be a lien on the home
For
as well.
sure.
Exactly. There
Mhm.
will be.
There
If
will
it's
be.
not paid off, for sure, there is a lien on the system. And it's different than the typical liens you would see on property because until it's paid off, it's still considered personal property, even though it's attached to the house. Like here in Texas, we call attached items real property.
Real property.
But until it's paid off, they don't count it as real property.
Right.
But once it is paid off, so if I'm on the buy side, right, and I'm purchasing a home that has a paid off system, now I've got real property. But if if I haven't paid it off yet, or I'm on the list side, I'm a homeowner and I have paid it off, maybe I've
Same thing.
done it. Now my
Right.
lien is removed and it becomes real property on my home.
So wait.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to go too fast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
If I haven't paid off a solar panel
Mhm.
system
Right.
and I'm ready to sell my house,
Yes.
maybe I'm not ready. I may have the paperwork, but I have to think about how I would want to promote and sell my home if it's not paid off, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So I guess if it's inspected well, you can kind of tell me, hey,
Right.
it's running very efficient.
Mhm.
That's a good way to promote and sell your home.
That's
Right.
one of
But
the
if
things we
it's
do.
not owned,
Right.
that can be seen by potential buyer as, hey, I don't really want these, so take them off.
Well, right. And it's not as easy as that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not as
not
easy as that because they're designed for the home. So keep in mind, Trent can tell you a little bit more about how they install that racking.
Mhm.
That's penetrated into the roof now. And so if you're going to remove a system, now you're going to need to address the roof, right?
Mhm.
And the roof might have not needed addressing. Maybe it was still
It
within
was
its
fine
warranty.
with the
Right.
sale.
But if you want to take
Or
the solar
panels.
off now,
Now
so
you've
you
got
want
an
to
issue
leave,
there.
yeah. So as the list side or the homeowner that's selling my home, I have to decide if I have a loan on it. And I need my agent for this, right? My agent's going to help guide me with this. What do we want to do with this loan? Do we want to pay it off? And then that way it's a paid off system, and which is more appealing to the buy side. Or do we want to transfer the loan? And are we able to transfer the loan? And that's where that
Mhm.
paperwork comes in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I need
Yeah.
my loan paperwork so I can
Right.
see what it says I'm able to do.
So that's really step one.
Yeah.
Finding the paperwork,
Finding my
like
paperwork.
you said. And then two, if it's not paid off, call that company.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Because it
find
could
out.
be,
Transfer.
yeah, if it's because
Exactly.
it could be not only being paid for on a monthly basis because you are buying it. What if it's leased? Or what if it's owned by the electric company who is leasing it to you, basically borrowing your roof,
'Cause,
and you're
like
paying them to
it's a
put
PPA
the, and
agreement,
yeah,
right?
under power
Yeah.
purchase agreements.
Right.
There's all kinds of there's
Different
yeah
agreements.
So
yeah
we have
there's
to
lots of
find
different
out
ways.
how did we purchase it or how did we get it? And there's that paperwork. And then also I need my warranty paperwork because I need to
Mhm.
know so I can help, advantageous for me to sell my house. Hey, my components are all still under warranty and warranties can transfer. So you
Mhm.
want to have that paperwork together as well so that you can show the potential buyer, hey, these, we can transfer these warranties to you, but we have to make sure that we can. And there's
Right.
different, so remember, there's the ownership, there's the installation, there's the manufacturer warranty, right? And then we also have that UCC1 lien. So
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we
There's a
have
lot of different parts.
there's
there's
some
a
parts
lot
to
of
it.
different
That's right.
parts. That's why we need all this
Yeah.
paperwork.
And why you want an agent like you, right? Who's taking the time to learn more about it
Mhm.
so that you can help guide your client through that.
Yeah.
When the new administration came in, many of those tax advantages were
Sunset.
phased out. Yeah, some phased out.
Yeah.
And so that was actually very helpful for a lot of purchasers because they were able to use those tax advantage, like what they were saving to put, in fact, some of the loans were requiring them to put that back into the loan to help bring the cost. And so
The
the
monthly cost
underwriters
down.
were counting on that, when they get those rebates and whatnot.
Rebates back. Yeah.
But those are not all of them. There's very, very few. They, our government could choose to add those back in, and that would be, helpful for solar, those who are wanting to purchase solar, but those are usually just on first time buys. It's
Yeah.
it's not necessarily on an ongoing basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to circle back to
Mhm.
something because
Okay.
I think it might be the main thing that if we left people with something today,
Okay.
I want to make sure we talk about the appraisal piece
Mhm.
for a home
Okay.
that has solar panels. But the
Right.
components, you touched on it, a couple times.
Yeah.
Let's make sure people are clear on the different components
Okay.
The
and
different
how
components. Okay.
and how they just generally how they might work. You said,
Yeah.
okay, when we're looking for paperwork, you've got multiple
Right.
components.
And we're talked about a system.
There's lots more to learn about solar systems. Look for part 2 in our discussion with Icon Inspection and Drone Services.